Guilty Gear Strive, Dual Rulers, the Sanzigen-produced anime-adapting Arc System Works storied fighting game franchise, continues to weave a high-octane tale of magic, bioweapons, and fractured human-gear relations in spring 2025. Set post-Guilty Gear Strive, the series follows Sin Kiski, the human-gear hybrid son of Kai Kiski and Dizzy, as he grapples with a world still reeling from the Crusades, a century-long war against rebellious gears. Episode 4, King of Gears, released on April 28, 2025, shifts focus from the relentless action of Episode 3 to introspection and revelation, exploring Sin's newfound role and Yunika's wavering convictions. I was hooked by the promise of unraveling Yunika's mysterious origins and Sin's evolving identity, but I wondered if the episode could maintain the series' kinetic energy while diving into quieter character moments. What emerges is a pivotal, emotionally rich chapter that elevates the narrative, despite minor stumbles. King of Gears opens with Yunika, injured from her clash with Sin, awakening under Bridget's care in a forest camp. Their conversations prompt Yunika to question her anti-gear mission, especially Sin's words about preventing another crusade. Meanwhile, Sin, recovering from his injuries, is visited by Dr. Paradigm, who reveals Sin's destiny as the new Gear King, a command-type gear capable of influencing others. Sin initially resists this responsibility, but Soul Bad Guy's gruff encouragement nudges him forward. Elphult Valentine, revealed to have survived her Episode 3 disappearance, uncovers Senator Nerville's ties to Crusade-era bioweapons, hinting at his possible foresight of future events. Leo Whitefong and President Vernon suspect Yunika, aka Agent U, is backed by a shadowy organization. The episode ends with a post-credit scene where Bridget urges Yunika to find her own path, and Jacko suggests to Sin's group that Yunika may be from the future, deepening the mystery. Episode 4 marks a significant turning point, shifting from action-driven pursuits to character introspection and lore expansion. The revelation of Sin as the Gear King is a game-changer, redefining his role in the human-gear conflict and setting up a potential leadership arc. Elphult's discovery of Nerville's bioweapon experiments, and the speculation that Yunika is a time traveler introduce thrilling sci-fi elements, while Yunika's encounter with Bridget sows seeds of doubt in her mission. These developments raise compelling questions. Can Sin wield his power responsibly? What is Nerville's endgame? While resolving little from prior episodes, maintaining narrative tension, the episode fulfills its role in the arc by slowing down to flesh out character motivations and expand the stakes, paving the way for larger confrontations. The pacing, however, feels uneven. The Yunika-Bridget scenes are deliberate and reflective, but Sin's confrontation with Dr. Paradigm and Elphult's investigation feel rushed, cramming major revelations into brief moments. I think this imbalance slightly disrupts the flow, though the cliffhanger mitigates this by leaving me eager for answers. Sin Kiski, Issei Miyazaki, and Yunika, Yui Ishikawa, are the episode's emotional anchors. Sin's reluctance to embrace the Gear King role reveals a new layer of self-doubt, contrasting his usual bravado. His quiet exchange with Soul, where he admits fearing the consequences of his power, is a poignant step toward maturity. I really appreciate this nuanced portrayal, though I wish the episode had explored his reaction to the Gear King title more deeply. Yunika's introspection, spurred by Bridget's kindness, is equally compelling. Her realization that Sin's ideals, not her failed mission, trouble her suggests a potential shift from antagonist to anti-hero. Bridget, Monica Iwami, shines as a compassionate foil, her decision to aid Yunika reflecting her moral core. Elphult's brief but determined investigation reinforces her resourcefulness, though her limited screen time feels like a missed opportunity. Soul and Dr. Paradigm, Takaya Hashi, are consistent but static, serving as narrative catalysts rather than evolving. The characters' actions align with their established traits, and I anticipate further growth as Sin and Yunika's paths converge. The episode delves into themes of responsibility, prejudice, and the search for purpose. Sin's struggle with his Gear King destiny underscores the burden of power, echoing the series' broader exploration of leadership in a divided world. Yunika's wavering convictions highlight the destructive nature of prejudice, as her interactions with Bridget challenge her anti-gear dogma. The time travel speculation introduces themes of fate, questioning whether characters can alter their paths. These themes are conveyed through intimate character moments. Yunika's fireside confession to Bridget about defying her father is a powerful metaphor for breaking free from inherited biases, while Sin's hesitation to lead reflects the weight of responsibility. I think the episode excels at weaving these themes into personal stakes, though the time travel twist risks overcomplicating the narrative if not handled carefully. The episode enriches the Guilty Gear universe with the Gear King concept, clarifying the hierarchy among command-type gears like Dizzy and Sin. Nerville's bioweapon experiments and potential future knowledge add a sci-fi layer, hinting at a conspiracy tied to the Crusades' legacy. The forest camp setting grounds the world in a a post-war reality, contrasting with Illyria's grandeur. I also appreciate the nod to Leo and Vernon's political maneuvering, which fleshes out the global stakes. However, the dense lore, especially Dr. Paradigm's exposition, may overwhelm newcomers, a recurring issue for the series. The dialogue is a strength, balancing emotional weight and lore delivery. Unica's halting admission to Bridget feels raw and authentic, while Sin's banter with Soul carries a lived-in warmth. Dr. Paradigm's speech about the Gear King, though expository, is elevated by Takayahashi's gravitas. However, I didn't like the occasional reliance on cliches like Leo's generic "we're up against a powerful organization" line, which feels rote. Norimitsu Kaiho's script is tighter than in prior episodes, focusing on character-driven storytelling, but the narrator's brief interjections remain a distraction. Overall, the writing is engaging but could refine its exposition. Episode 4 evokes thoughtfulness, hope, and quiet tension. Unica's fireside scene with Bridget warmed my heart, their bond a beacon of compassion in a fractured world. Sin's hesitation to embrace his destiny stirred empathy, his fear of failure resonating deeply. I also found myself intrigued by the time travel twist, though I'm against its potential to overcomplicate the plot. The post-credit scene, with Bridget's advice to Unica, was profoundly moving, leaving me hopeful for Unica's redemption. The episode prompts reflection on responsibility and the power of empathy to challenge prejudice. Unica's doubt mirrors real-world struggles to unlearn bias, while Sin's burden echoes the weight of leadership. The episode's lasting impression lies in its character moments, making me ponder the cost of peace in a divided world. King of Gears is a standout episode of Guilty Gear Strive. Dual rulers, blending introspective character work with bold narrative strides. Its strengths, refined animation, stellar voice acting, and emotionally resonant themes make it a high point of the series. Unica and Sin's evolving arcs, paired with Sanzagen's visual polish, deliver a compelling experience. However, the uneven pacing and dense lore risk alienating newcomers, and the lack of action may disappoint fans expecting the series' usual intensity. I really appreciate the episode's focus on character and theme, but I think a more balanced pace could broaden its impact. Overall, the episode achieves its goal of deepening the narrative and setting up future conflicts, marking it as a successful, if not perfect, installment. I anticipate that Episode 5 will explore Unica's potential redemption and Sin's growth as Gear King, hopefully streamlining the lore for wider appeal. For now, Dual Rulers is shaping up as a bold adaptation, and I'm excited to see its next move.